All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Damian, Gerry Realty Group YouTube channel. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click subscribe. Leave a comment if you like, saying hello. Hope you're having a great day, stuff like that. So today's video is very interesting. I was skimming across Instagram the other day, and I found out that there's some people that are knocking having a real estate license. So today's video is going to be over pros and cons of having a real estate license, and should you or shouldn't you get a real estate license? Because like some people are making pretty good points out there, but in this video we're going to dissect it and take it on from there. So sit back, relax as usual, get your handy dandy notepad, get a pen to take some notes, maybe get some water, coffee if you need to, and let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so the biggest thing that I can see here is from watching some of these videos is that some people in wholesaling are saying, I think it's a waste of time for you to get your real estate license. I'm making six figures, maybe like every 3 months and stuff like that, and which is okay, that's fine, but they're missing those people that don't have a license are also missing out on a lot of things too. So we're basically going to get into some of that stuff right now and kind of take it on from there. So I'm just going to go out and list some pros and cons of having a real estate license here. Now, pros of having a real estate license. One is going to be it being a lucrative market to be in. Now, whenever the market is up, not like right now, because supply is really low. So right now, it's definitely a rocky boat for all realtors and agents. It's like if you're not adapting your business, which every business is going to be having that adapting phase. You're going to be adding services, you're going to be taking away services, replacing them with something better, stuff like that. That's the whole thing about business, y'all. So we have to, as professionals, as realtors, agents, whatever, we all have to make sure that we're not staying on this path of that everyone takes, really, which is going to be everyone goes after the buyers, everyone goes after the sellers, everyone does that. That creates red water, and then there's like so much more opportunity that's left on the table for everyone else to be able to grab. Which, again, that side of things makes it a blue water situation, which is golden. So being here in California, Southern California, that's where my market is. So making it a lucrative market really is huge. Okay, so understand this. California is one of the most expensive states to live in the country. Okay, there's a few others, but we live in one of the most expensive states. Now, that also goes for housing. Housing is a big deal. I don't care who you are. Now, with housing here, let's say in the Temecula Valley area, your median house is probably going to be around like your 650 to maybe 750 area, depending on where you're going to be, how big the house is, etc. That's going to be in your range. Now, if you go over towards Irvine, you're starting out pretty much 950, straight up, 950. San Diego, pretty much the same thing. At least it's probably going to be around $1 million at least. And then if you go over to Corona, you're, depending on the house, obviously, you're going to be, again, in that same bracket, around 650 to probably about $1 million. And then like the closer you get to LA, the more it's going to go up. And definitely the closer that you get to the coastline is definitely going to get a lot more expensive. So having a lucrative market is definitely key in this business. However, whenever, like I said before, when you run in through these times that we're in right now to where the market's slowing down, it has very much slowed down a lot and everyone's feeling it. So it's just kind of what it is. But the good thing is that whenever the highs are there, they're big highs. Like as realtors and agents, we can make a great living, an astounding living. So that's one pro for you. Another pro is high demand. When the market is up, it's up. Then you feel it. You just get so, you like, again, this is all parts of having your real estate license, okay? So you become an asset, okay? That's a big thing. You become an asset. So whenever someone, anyone for that matter, let's say a homeowner, a FSBO, someone in pre-foreclosure, tax liens, all these people that are trying to sell their homes, they need someone like us. And if you don't have a license, then you can't do anything. You limit yourself. So this is another thing, another really good pro here. Now, diverse clientele. So I like to, I like to like be able to work with everyone. I don't care who you are. Now, there's some people like your Armenians. They like to work with each other. You also have your, I don't know how to say this politically correct, but your Middle Eastern demographic. Those people typically like to deal with their own. So you kind of get where I'm going at. So, you can have very different clientele all over the place, and you can either kind of pick your niche. Let's say you're in church or something, and you kind of deal with those people. Then great, that's your niche. But the cool thing is that real estate is always different. It's an ever-changing thing, and every deal is different. Every deal is like a roller coaster. It's ups and downs with whether you're dealing with a VA buyer, conventional loan, FHA, hard money. Like there's all these different things that arise. And so there's even codes with termite inspections and VA loans, for example. Like there's just things that happen. And it's like really awesome in my opinion, because as a realtor, I love the fact that my days every day is different. It keeps me on my toes. I learn every day, which I love to do anyways, but that's a big deal. Now, with different locations, okay, this is really awesome. So you have the ability, because we live in California, you have the ability to accept listings over on the coast. You have the ability to accept listings in Palm Springs area. You can go from beach to mountains up in Big Bear, even Lake Tahoe area, all the way over to the desert of Palm Springs. So that's another really awesome thing for us to be able to do. And also networking. So whenever you get into having your license, another pro here, these are all pros that I'm listing out, by the way. Being able to network is a big deal. Now, you have to go where the money is, right? Depending on the market that you're trying to get into. If you're trying to stay in low income, then you're going to go to those lower income neighborhoods. If you're going to go into the higher incomes, you're going to go into those neighborhoods. Let's say, for example, if you like to golf, golfing is a great way to meet people. You can find different golf courses that are $31 to play at. You can play a whole full 18 holes, $31. It includes your cart, and let's say if you go alone, then you get to meet people that you're paired up with. Before you know it, one of the first things that strikes up a conversation is, what is it that you do for a living? Oh, well, Bill, I'm glad you asked me, man. I'm actually a realtor. Oh, are you really? Well, I actually have a house that you can list for me. Let's make a bet. If you can beat me into today's game entirely, or just make a deal with them, then I'll give you my listing. And it's like, oh my God, I paid $31 for that lead. That's amazing. And I had fun in the process. That's even better. So you get where I'm coming from. Like there's at least, let's say in my situation right now, I am with EXP. EXP is very all about networking. Okay. And I love it that way, because for me, I'm a really techie guy. I like getting into softwares. I like being able to do all these things, right? And even with this platform too. So the big deal here is that networking within EXP, they've made it so easy. Literally, we have let me see what it is here. We have something called Workplace, and it's where you can actually connect with all of these different people all across the country and even the world if you needed to. So if you have a client that's trying to move to, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia, well, you can go ahead, put it into the referral page of the referral group of Workplace, and literally start vetting different realtors out in that area. It makes you look like a rock star whenever it comes to finding a referral for your client. And literally, you get a referral fee back once escrow closes on that said deal, which is a very big deal because all you had to do was refer the client to someone, and that realtor in your network goes ahead and does the work. You get paid the referral fee, and everyone's happy. Literally, you look like a rock star. So it's a big deal whenever you go to these different networking events. Even if you're, let's say, with YPN. YPN is the Youth Professionals Network. It's an even bigger deal to get with those networks too, because then those people, you become friends with those people. Before you know it, they send you referred business. Yes, you're going to pay some type of little referral fee, like 20, 25, even 35% or something. But it's whatever, that's the cool thing. Whatever you agree with, that's it. And you make a deal. Now, I'm going to go over the cons of having a real estate license. Now, most people, when they get into real estate, and I would have to say that I might be considering myself in this group as well, because whenever I was getting into this, I told everyone, hey, like, I'm going to start doing 15 deals a month. Watch me, like, look out. Damian's coming through, the bull in a china shop. Well, I couldn't have been further from that guesstimate, really. And so it's like, the time that I got in, the market was like basically on its downslope. And so that's kind of how it goes. Now, high competition, that is the biggest deal. Now, when you get into this industry, okay, this is not a joke. When you get into this industry, you will have to set yourself apart from everyone else, okay? There's a reason why there's about 98% of people that get their license, they quit within the first 2 years. Yes, you heard that correct. They quit in the first 2 years. Reason being is because, actually, a couple things here. Now, there's thousands of people that are trying to do the same thing that you are trying to do. They're trying to make big money in the market, and they're trying to do everything that they can. Well, what happens whenever it doesn't work? They go broke because they're spending all this money on advertising and all this other stuff. And then it's like all crossing fingers like, oh my gosh, I hope I get a deal. I hope I get a deal. When at the end of the day, it's about the networking that you do. That's literally what's going to get you deals. You have to be on the phone. You have to meet people in person. You have to go, like, just think outside the box. And for the most part, when people get their licenses, they think that they're going to just get deals automatically. Most people think that if they join a team, they're going to just make money crazily fast. Well, what they don't know, and this is what I had to find out as well for myself, was that when I first got into this industry, I was about to get with a team. And I'm so happy that I did not get with a team, because that would have stifled the amount of money that I could make. Now, I've done previous videos over this topic, so I will hint at this a little bit, which is you make less money most of the time. You will make less money if you are with a team rather than being on your own. Me, I'm on my own with an EXP. I'm a solo agent. So that's huge for me, because now I get to call my own shots. I don't have someone micromanaging me. I don't have anyone trying to tell me what to do, what not to do. Like, I've had businesses before. So this model works for me with EXP, that is. So there's a whole bunch of things in that, which you can watch a past video and go into all that. But the big competition here is literally what would be a con all day long. So just set your expectations properly. If you have people within your circle of the sphere of influence or circle of influence, definitely use that. That's going to get you deals pretty much immediately. And then people in those neighborhoods that you sold a house in are going to say, oh my God, that house sold for that much? Hey, Jennifer, who did you use? Oh, I used my grandson. And then you kind of go from there. You get it? So the second con is going to be expensive living costs. Okay. Now, with being here in Southern California, we do have one of the highest living expenses and costs of living, if you will, literally in the state. So for, let's say if you're just starting out, okay, is being a realtor or an agent, well, you're going to incur dry months. And I said this on a previous video as well. The dry months are dry. So try not to spend all of your commissions on every little thing that you possibly can. Hence, new car, new phone, like new camera equipment. It doesn't make sense. You know, you can literally make videos on your phone here, literally speaking. And I'm being able to use my camera equipment. I didn't purchase all this equipment just for this channel. I purchased this stuff years ago. So I was able to get myself a little bit ahead of the curve here. But if you're not like that, like me in that regard, then use your phone. Literally, most platforms are going to be good anyways. But try to manage the output of cash flow that you're going to need, and like really just kind of live broke for the first like 6 months to a year, because it will eat you up. Cost of living, that is. Just simply that. I mean, for crying out loud, like my phone bill is about $200 a month, and it's just my wife and I. So crazy. So the third part to this is going to be the volatility of the market. Now, when unfortunately, you know, you have to, like, this third one is literally where we are in right now. It's a down market, downturn. So literally, people are not trying to sell their house because of interest rates. If they sell their house and they get out of a 3% interest rate, then they're going to have to get another house unless they're paying cash, but most of the time they're not. So they're going to have to get into another house that they're going to get into a 6 or 7% interest rate. So it financially does not make sense for a lot of people to go in and start buying, like selling their house now and then buying another one, because now they're going to be 3 points higher than they were before. So again, it just doesn't make sense. And also even buyers is a struggle too, because let's say that if you have a buyer, then you start going out and searching for homes. Before you know it, if you're the average realtor or average agent, okay, this happens all the time. So this is no shade throwing to anyone. This is just what happens. You're probably going to show your clients 10, maybe 20, maybe 30 houses, okay? Now, even right now in today's market, it is June 14th, 2023, okay? Today's market has low supply. Lots of demand, but low supply. So that's unfortunate, because let's say for some clients that I have right now, we're going out looking at houses. Before you know it, I'm calling the listing agent. Hey, is the seller going to accept a VA buyer? They say yes. Okay, great. And I ask, well, what type of offers have you been receiving? Then they'll either tell me or they won't tell me, and I have to navigate that. I have to figure out a way to navigate it. And so if they tell me a price, it's what I'm always looking for. I'm trying to figure out what neighborhood, if my clients like this house, what neighborhood of an offer do we have to kind of be in? And so that's going to be based off of other offers. And if you get in good with some of the listing agents, then some of them will give you a ballpark at the very least, which would be so huge of help. So that's kind of how that goes. So it's going to be a struggle in a downturn market, and especially, like I said, whenever you have people, like, interest rates are high, sellers are not going to sell. And then even if interest rates are high, buyers are going into it, but then there's a low supply, so then it makes it a lot harder for you to match. So kind of what I was saying before is, and I'll make another video on this going more in depth, but make sure you get everything done per the property that your clients send you. So once you send them properties, then make sure that they're sending you back properties that they're interested in, and then do the research on that said property to make sure that even before y'all see the property, that it's going to work out for your client and their type of loan and the price, all of those things. So by the time you get to the house, you already know what's going on the loan side, on the negotiation side overall. And then all you have to really see is if the client likes the property truly in person, because especially with professional photography nowadays, it, like, even my photographer, he can make properties look like the worst properties look so good, and then you go in person, it's like, so kind of one of those things. Now the fourth one is going to be regulatory requirements. Okay, now when you become a realtor, okay, specifically a realtor, you're going to incur more fees. So to become that is going to be specific education. It's also going to be, let's see here, requiring a little bit more time, effort, and also the biggest thing, which is probably a killer of a lot of people, is going to be the financial investment that you're going to have to make into it. Now, let's say, for example, that you want to become a realtor. Well, you're going to have to go in. I think it was like $1,200 after everything was said and done. And then you also have to go in for orientation. You have to do some of these things. So it's a big deal. And they also hold you to a much higher part of the law whenever you become a realtor. There's a lot of perks to becoming a realtor. So if you are thinking about becoming a realtor, I absolutely suggest doing it. You get a lot more market knowledge rather than your typical agent. With a realtor, you can get with EXP. With EXP, they require you to become a realtor because they just hold you to a higher stature of level whenever it comes to regulatory compliance and all that. So also, clients, from what I've personally experienced, is that most people don't know the differences between a realtor and an agent. And I'll make another video on that. But the big thing here is that as long as you can understand for yourself and then explain that to your clientele to understand, how it's going to be an advantage of working with you versus a regular agent. Again, this is no shade throwing. This is just the facts. So you can't help that an agent didn't become a realtor, and you can't help the fact that a realtor became a realtor. So one of those type of deals. Now, work-life balance, okay? If you are planning on getting into real estate, okay, as a realtor, specifically as a realtor, even as an agent, it doesn't matter at this point, okay? If you are trying to escape your 9 to 5 to get into real estate, I need you to understand this now, please. I'd save this one for the last one because this is so important. It's going to be a very hard game for you to manage if you're trying to do a work-life balance. Within your first 2 to 3 years, okay? 2 to 3 years, it's going to be a bit difficult for you to be able to have a good a personal life outside of work. Because whenever you're especially in your first 6 months, let's just say it like this. Once you are in your first, I would say probably a month or two, you're trying to figure out which brokerage you're going to get with. Okay? That's what it is. Then once you get with the brokerage, now you have to figure out how you're going to set yourself up for tax purposes once you start making this big money. Now, let's say you get your DBA going for your own business bank account. Then that's going to take some time. And then you have to get your logo for your own business. You have to do all these things. There's so much to do. So that's probably going to take up around a month or two for you to get settled up with. So you have to understand that working on the weekends is definitely going to be a big deal because that's when open houses are going on. And what you do with open houses, you meet buyers. And what do those buyers do if they're not being represented? Then you can potentially represent them. It's a win-win. You have to do these things. And so sometimes, like, let's say working with buyers, this is really specific to the buyers, is that sometimes you'll have to do, I don't know, if you're just like, in my opinion, okay, some people may be triggered by this, but if you are an average agent that is going to just take your clients to each and every single house, literally, that comes up on their radar, they just send you 20 houses and you literally go see 20 houses without doing the research, then you're going to be spending a lot of time, a lot of fuel, a lot of wear and tear on your vehicle. Make sure you track those miles, and for tax purposes, that is. And then, you're going to just go through so much fuel, so much of your own time, and you're just not going to leave any time for your own self. So it's also going to be very appreciated on the buyer side whenever they know that you're doing all this research. They can see that, and it really that's one thing that sets you apart from other people. So work-life balance, at first, there probably will be none, and you have to be okay with that, because this game in real estate as being a realtor is not a quick get-rich-quick scheme. You can, in a high market, you can definitely make a lot of money really quick. But right now we're in a downturn market. So you kind of have to figure out like how you're going to make money, and then how you're going to manage your time. Are you going to make videos? Are you going to call investors? Are you going to call buyers? Are you going to call sellers? Are you going to call FSBOs? What are you going to do? And literally you have to like have all this noise in your head that's like, what am I going to do? So for the pros and cons side of things, there you go. Okay. Now, in lieu of all of this that I just stated, because the video today was all about really, should you or shouldn't you get your license for real estate? Now, I will tell y'all that it is absolutely worth it to get your license. Okay. Depending on your situations, financially, especially financially, that's going to be your biggest thing. Okay. I need y'all to understand this right here, right now. So, even with the pros, in my opinion, there's more pros than there is cons. Even though I set up both 5 pros and 5 cons for this specific video, I feel, my opinion once again, I feel the pros outweigh the cons. So that's a big deal. Now, going into, let's say, your investor side, the investment property stuff. Let's say that, because these are the videos that I've been seeing a lot on Instagram, for example, is people saying, you don't need your license. I'm making 6 figures in 3 months and I don't even have a license. That's good. But here's the thing. Like I said before, a way to adapt your business, your real estate business, is to make sure that you stand out. How is it that you're going to stand out? Well, I'll tell you. You can go after elderly people that need help to find a place, let's say in a mobile manufactured home park, in a mobile estate. You can do that. Like, that's a market in itself, for real. Let's say you want to work with investor properties. Well, go find some distressed homes, and then hopefully, let's say if you're with EXP, they have a way, I think it's called Offer Express, and you can put these distressed properties in there, and then you'll start getting investors commenting back saying like, hey, we're interested in this property, and have a quick sale. But let's say like this, you can do those same things that these other wholesale guys are saying. Literally, you can do it. But the biggest difference here in how you win is this. It's golden. These other guys have no license, no nothing. Okay? You have a license. You can do the same thing that they are doing. You just have to understand how to do it. The second part to it, where you make more money, is that when your investor, whenever you have a client that wants to buy that distressed property, then what you do, you make a little agreement with them, make a little understanding with them at the forefront of the deal. You say, look, Ben, I will go ahead and sell you this property, this investment property. Go ahead and get it $215. It's worth $650. You get it for $215. I make my commission, and then let me know whenever you're done fixing it, and you have to hire me as a listing agent. You see what you did there? You're not just making money on the investor side, but now you're making money on the listing agent side. So that's literally how it goes. And so if you have questions over this, please leave it down below in the comments. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of comments on it. I'm very certain there's going to be a lot of comments on this, like how do I do it, all that stuff. And I know how to do it. So if you want to learn how to do it, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to make another video on this. But that's a big deal. So these other guys that don't have a real estate license, they only make money once. That's it. One time. But if you have a license, you can make money twice, literally. And it's great because now, and also, here's another thing. Those guys that are calling, let's say that if it's with Pace Morby, I think is his name, then what's going to happen is that, to my understanding, he's got about 10,000 people doing this across the country. If I remember correctly, it was like 193 people in all states, if you average it out that way. I think it was that number. And so you only have that many. Now, if you are a realtor or even an agent, and you go to the same people that they're going after, and you say, hey, look, I'm a realtor, I work with investors, I'm very certain I can find you a buyer for this house. How much do you want for it? They tell you, again, we'll just do that figure, $215. Okay, the house is worth $650, but the owner is in some type of financial distress, so they just literally can't pay it. So that's kind of how that goes. And also, what can happen here? There's a third way to make money on this, by the way, literally a third. So you get the investor set up with the homeowner and sell the property on an investor deal. They pay $215 for that property. It's worth $650. Okay. Now you get to help that, you as a realtor or agent get to help that seller find a new property. Okay. That's going to be buyer representation, buyer agent. You get to help them find a new property. You make money there. You just made money on the sale of their home. Now you get to make money on the purchase of their new home. And then you also get to make money on being the listing agent for the investor that bought that investment property. So that's your third way to be able to make money with being a real estate agent. So for the videos that, and I'm calling y'all out, for all of you that are creating videos about not being, like it's not worth it to be a real estate agent, I absolutely will debate you all day long, because it is, I don't think that in this, my statement, this is truly how I feel, is that it is way more lucrative for us as realtors and agents to have better business with the sellers and buyers than someone that doesn't have a license. If someone doesn't have a license, they can't even do business in real estate for the most part anyways. They can't represent a buyer. They can't represent a seller. That's just how it goes. Now, that's literally it. So there's your big things, and like as to why I wanted to make this video, I wanted to set the record straight to make sure that all of you understand how big of a deal this truly is. So with that said, it is absolutely worth it to get your real estate license. The pros outweigh the cons, even on the upfront costs. And depending on the market that you're in, real estate is not always going to be on a downturn. Usually it's a pretty high market. And a way for, like, literally, like Dale Carnegie said, 92% of all millionaires came from real estate. So with that being said, that will conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and gals enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below if you want to hire me here in Southern California to either be a listing agent, get you off market properties. If you have pre-foreclosure and you just want to get out of the home, give me a call. I can help you. And all my contact information is down below. So with that said, peace.